Welcome to Breaking Boundaries. Today's episode, we have Chanakya with us. We are speaking with someone who built results across India, Canada, and understand actual, performance, how ads work, what are the benefits, you get from PPC or you get from Google Ads. He is doing it from last couple of years now. So welcome Chanakya to the podcast. Right. I
Thank you.
just before you dive into anything, okay, tell me about you. Tell me how was your journey from India to Canada and how things happened with you.
I discovered this field of digital marketing by chance, to be very honest with you. I started off my career in branding and brand marketing. And there was a company from Mumbai. I was in Ahmedabad at that point of time. And there was this company from Mumbai that came to Ahmedabad because they were pitching Amul as a brand.
Okay.
And they approached me. They had an open position, and I kind of showed them my portfolio. They brought me to Mumbai, and then an opportunity came up, and they were like, we want you to lead the digital team. At that point of time, I didn't know exactly what digital marketing is, but I took the decision to lead the digital team. And then I changed companies. I went through a lot of stuff in India. I learned new stuff about digital marketing as I went through the companies. Later on, as the opportunity for PR opened up in Canada, I moved to Canada, learned their mindset, the way they do things, and also did a course in digital marketing from York University. Currently, I am working with Shigba Media, but then I also have my own independent consultancy, in digital marketing, which I call as Digital Marketing Agency Toronto. And my main goal is to offer digital marketing solutions to clients at the best possible rates,
Wow.
because the way it goes in Toronto and North America, most of my Shigba Media is an American company, but we have clients across US and America, is that there is a spend amount that every digital marketing agency looks at. And unless you match that spend amount, they will not take you on. Of
Uh,
course, there are other people that also do the stuff freelance from Fiverr and other freelance mediums. But then the problem with that is that the quality suffers.
right.
My main goal is to offer them a good price point, but then also keep the quality in check. And basically, what I have found between India and Canada is that in India, you can get the work done. The only thing is that, of course, you would have to educate your team on what the client's expectations are in North America. If
Right.
you are, as the mediator, you are able to do that, and as a person who is able to do that in marketing, then you can deliver a lot of value to your client from the price point and the quality. So there is a balance that can be established, but then you as a person need to be aware about how it works in Canada and the US, and also about how it works in India. So that's been my journey till.
So basically, you're becoming a bridge between, this marketing guys as well as the client. You serve them. Whom do you target? Whom do focus on? What's your exact
So
target audience?
So, we have various podcasts, like various pods that we target. I mean, majority of the times, doctors and lawyers are really good clients. They're good, stable clients. But then there's also home services. Home services is a market which is very different, because in India, when you talk about home services, you're looking at things like Urban Clap that has their own in-house marketing team, and not individual plumbers or deck builders or anything. Over
True.
here, you have roofers, plumbers, deck builders, electricians, and they do work on a massive scale. For example, if
Okay.
I'm talking about one of our clients, one of the clients that I work with is definitely a Jax Power Pro, which is a electrician, but he also does home services,
Home
and
services.
he's based in Florida.
Okay.
Now, this guy has a team of 150 people. He
Wow.
owns a three-floor building space. He has a secretary, and his income is nearly $8 to $9 million. Now, this
Wow.
is something that you are not going to expect in India out of these people. But over here, it is a huge industry. So there are a lot more fields over here that you can target that you cannot in India. There's also fields like immigration lawyers. Even lawyers, they're immigration lawyers. There are family lawyers. There are accidental lawyers. It's not a one size fits all. So yeah, I mean, these are some fields that are really stable fields, and these are three broad fields that I target. I love automobile clients too, because automobiles, people love to spend on their automobiles. And then again, the market is different from India in a way that when people spend on automobiles, they spend a lot on modifications. So you're talking about the entire bumper hood change, you're talking about grill changes, you're talking about suspension changes. And of course, there are aficionados in India too that do that. But over here, it's something that's done on a way larger scale. So that is another industry which is really good to target. That's automobile square parts or automobile suspension services, etc. And yeah, if you even play between these four pods, I think you will have a very healthy clientele that you can deliver quality work to.
What makes your approach different?
What makes my approach different is that I know the pitfalls of what digital marketing agencies have in India, and I know the pitfalls of digital marketing agencies here. The problem with digital marketing agencies in North America is that they do not have constant touch with the client. And in order to have that constant touch with the client, they charge the client way more. So in
True.
the end, the client may end up paying as much for just getting in touch with the agency as he may for the marketing services. So my personal approach is that I don't charge them for the constant touch. At the same time, most of the agencies here only talk on emails. Like phone calls, text is like, they don't prefer that. As to why, I do not know, but that's just the social norm. With me, it's very simple. My client that we are working together with, he contacts me on text messages. He sends me things on emails. I never have any issues with him contacting me on text messages or emails. It's basically communication. Even if he calls me, I'm not going to hold that against him. That why are you calling? And that's a bit of a pitfall with agencies here. In India, it's definitely the quality, but then if with the right guidance, you can get the quality. So it's all about the guidance and how you build that guidance. That's all.
True.
I know that, with you running Kryptonix has a very talented staff. It's
Thank you.
just that, it may require one or two revisions, but with that, the staff will get how the work should be done and that
Correct.
can deliver.
Yeah, we keep on training our people as well. We go, we have a couple of certification courses, which
Yeah.
we take you through. But real experience is real experience, right? So yes, guys are
Absolutely.
learning.
Yeah.
Hopefully, things will be in proper shape and size, and things are going good with us as well. We've been dealing with US and Canadian customer from last 5 years, right?
Yep.
We more focus on software, SaaS, mobile application. This is our main KRA, but we also have a marketing team and a CMO as well.
Of course, of course. No, I really enjoy working with you guys, and I really enjoy working with Kryptonics because I feel
Thank you.
that the staff is humble, which is you don't find that. It may be something funny, but you don't find that a lot over here because the staff themselves they're like, okay, don't let the client abuse you. I'm like, in the end, it's the client that's paying you.
True.
So of course, no client is crazy that they'll abuse you. There are difficult clients, but then as a part of a business, that's
Yeah, you just have to manage them properly. That's all.
yeah. That's your job, right? That's what you get paid to do. If
Correct.
if, if that's not the case, then companies should just hire freelancers and get work done.
True. Very true.
So that's what even I keep telling the team. But yeah, that's the way it works, and I feel that more and more Indian companies are coming up with better quality work. It's just about familiarity. So the more clients that you take on from US and Canada, and the more familiar you get their work, the better you can be,
True.
and the higher price also that you can quote to US and Canadian clients,
Right.
because quoting higher prices is never a wrong thing. For people like
Paying for
me
some
who
services, they're paying for to get their life sorted. So
yeah,
yes, why not?
absolutely. And of course, when they make more money, you can also make more money.
True. Simple. So what made you choose marketing all the way?
What made me choose marketing is that I was always, as a child, I was always interested in all these ads that came on TV. And I would say that the early 90s and the early 2000s were like the golden age of TV
True.
because internet wasn't that developed. We didn't have HTML5, we didn't have Google booming. So people still relied on word of mouth. And it was also a lot influenced by the ads that they showed on TV. Every last Bollywood actor was on TV, and you had some brilliant ads. There was this Coca-Cola ad, there was the
Yes.
Santoor ad. There were
Correct.
so many ads that people showed even the Bajaj ad that was there, the earliest one, and you had jingles and stuff. And as a child, I could always infer from those ads what they wanted to sell.
True, very
The
true.
funny
I
part
still
was
remember. I still remember the Central Fresh ad. That was
exactly.
just moving on my mind right now.
Yeah, Dimar ki batti jala, right? Right. So India produced some brilliant ads,
100%.
during that time. And there was this company called as DDB Mudra that was established, and DDB that really led the charge on this and had a lot of clients that did well. So, and of course, the Bollywood industry was established. So you had good cameramen, good production crew and stuff. That's what piqued my interest. And then when I kind of grew up, I'm like, hey, if this is what I'm seeing and I'm learning, why not make it a career? How fun would it be? The only sad part is that now marketing is all about, especially in North America, when we talk about ROI and ROAS, marketing has become all about data. But an advice that I would like to give to everybody in at least North America is to also focus on your brand. You know, and having ads that can resonate with the audience and creating good image for your brand is also something that is very important. It's intangible, sure, but it has results on the ground. For example, one of the biggest clients that I work with is the second largest manufacturer of automobile afterparts in the world, is Simran Industries.
Wow.
And these guys focus a lot on social media. Yes, okay. Social media doesn't get them a lot of money. Google does, and their e-commerce offerings do, and their distributors do. But with social media, whenever they go to trade shows, the industry is like, hey,
Everybody knows them.
yeah, they're like, hey,
Brand.
we see you guys everywhere. Oh, you were running like David outside in the snow, and you had no shirt. That was something that was very unique. We love the message that you delivered. So the kind of messaging that you send also resonates with your brand, and then that indirectly does affect your sales. That's what I would say.
100%. Branding is a face of the business. There has to be. So now you have been working with two completely different markets, like India and Canada, right?
Yes.
So what one insight changed? How you look your customers' behavior.
For me, in terms of that one insight, it would be that I came to know two things, that in India, and this is talking about both markets, in India, people will spend less, but once they get results, they're okay spending more. Their
Correct.
wallets open up.
Right.
That's something that understood. So in India, it's all about work with a small budget, get them the maximum results with the minimum CPC that you can, and then they will open up their budget. In North America, it's more about why don't you want to work with bigger budgets? It's all about, hey, I have this massive budget. I want to grow 10 times or 15 times exponentially. So why can't you cover even programmatic? Why can't you cover account based marketing? Or what is that edge that you're giving me that no other person has? So you would definitely pitch these bigger services, and you would pitch white label dashboards. It's a completely different service offering that you would pitch, and you would also appeal to a niche. So for example, if it's a dental services, you would say that, okay, we are working with more dental marketing firms since the past 6 years. That kind of insight changed the whole approach towards marketing to Canada versus marketing in India.
That's a very good insight, right? So
Yeah.
today's theme is ROAS, right? So what is the truth behind ROAS? The most marketing, or marketers never admit or they don't talk about. What do you think?
Is that ROAS can never be consistent. I know that
Never.
I know that every marketing agency or every marketer out there tells their client that we will deliver you consistent ROAS of 6x or 7x. That's our goal. ROAS can never be consistent.
Never be consistent.
Everywhere there are many factors like seasonality.
Mm-hmm.
There are factors like occasions, and there are also features like socioeconomical conditions that
Uh-huh.
will definitely affect your ROAS. Plus, it's also your product and your innovation and how your staff behaves that can also affect the ROAS. So, consistent ROAS is a myth. I would say that what you should be looking at is an average ROAS. So, rather than saying that we will give you 6x ROAS for the whole year, which is not a kind of realistic target, because then if the client sees ROAS drop to 2x or 3x, the client is going to come for your throat because you
True.
promised them 6x ROAS, and then they're going to start canceling services. So instead of that, a good option would be to let the client know that there are going to be seasonality factors. There are going to be issues that are going to come. Our campaigns are going to go up or down with your modifications. So on an average, I can look at 4 to 5x ROAS to start off with. That's a realistic target. And then if you're getting, let's say 10, 15, 20x ROAS, then you can promise them 7 or 8x average ROAS. But never, I would always say that under promise and over deliver rather than over promising and under delivering.
Not
And that's a pitfall that many agencies fall in, is that they over promise. They are like, okay, we are working with 10 clients and this is the results that we are giving them. Great. But that doesn't apply to every single client you sign.
No, that is very, very right. So, no, in talking about the deliverables, talking about the process, how was your experience with Kryptonics? And is there anything that stood out in terms of quality, communication, or system?
Absolutely. Absolutely. What I love is that, so I've been working with Pallab, and what I loved is that Pallab is always there. I have
Yes,
never had a day where he does not get back. Timelines, if there's something that I tell him that, hey, this is one small work that needs to be completed in the next 24 hours, I know that he's going to send me. So
yes.
that sort of trust is there, which is very difficult. This is the number one pitfall in working with agencies overseas. The number one pitfall is the timeline, is that, overseas agencies, especially other agencies in India, take a lot of time in delivering stuff. And in North America, the problem is that no client has patience. And
True,
if you miss their deadlines 2 or 3 times, they're going to start canceling,
true,
which
true.
which is a big issue.
See,
So
that's the reason, what we do, we have two teams. One
yeah,
operates in Indian time zone as development team, right? And we
yeah,
have a backup team for night as well, right? So that,
right.
any instant they need any update, any changes, there's somebody, who can take care of it then and there itself. So 24 hours, everything can be taken care. Not a problem.
Absolutely. And I love that about Kryptonics. At the same time, if there are any services to add on, I think we started with SEO, but then it was website and they were like, all right, we can start it instantly. All right, let's kind of get on it. Then it came to social media. So then, I had a client who came for SEO. Now he's added website. Now he's going to add social media. So now we have a 360-degree package that we are serving him. And tomorrow, if there's
Send
anything,
us more and more work. We'll be happy
yeah,
to look at it.
and then if there's anything for branding, that's also going to be included. That's also you do. So the fact that I can get all my services in one place and the response time is very quick. If I call anytime, I know that I'm going to get a call back. The fact that the team is very knowledgeable and the work that is delivered is professional. you
Thank
know,
you.
I have never seen a website first draft be approved so fast with very minor modifications as I've
Thank you.
done with Kryptonics. Because the first draft that was delivered to the client, the only changes were just some colors and design, nothing
Those are
else.
basic stuff, right?
Yeah, which is very basic. It's very, I would say it's very subjective, depends
Awesome.
on every client. So it's not something that's in our control. But other than that, all the technical aspects were very spot on. And that is something that is very impressive. So
Thank
the
you, sir.
level of work that is being done, even if it's cloning a website, it's not that everybody's able to clone it. People are, trust me, I know, and I've worked with companies who cannot do that. So the fact that this was done in, I think, 48 hours turnaround time. So the
Yes.
speed with which it was done and the precision with which it was done, even in terms of mobile responsiveness, is really extremely impressive. I'm I'm very impressed with Kryptonics, and if I ever get anybody else that comes my way, I would definitely send them to Kryptonics.
Thank you, man. Thank you so much. So quick rapid fire, One marketing myth you hate.
One marketing what
Marketing myth you hate.
yeah, one marketing myth you hate is that marketers can deliver success all the time. That's a myth. I know that absolutely no company talks about their failures, but as a marketer, you are going to be fail. I would say that be comfortable with it, be comfortable losing clients too. All that you can do is learn from it and just make sure that you retain more clients than you lose. And eventually, if you come to the 70-30 equation where you retain 70% of all clients that you sign, that's something that's good.
So one tool that you cannot survive without using in a daily basis.
I would say SEMrush. I'm addicted to it because I love the graphs and I love the details that it gives. And, whenever I'm kind of delivering reports to clients, it becomes very easy to take screenshots and provide those reports. So it's an all-in-one tool, and I love how it helps report the kind of successes, because getting success is one thing, but then reporting it and showing it to the client is not.
So SEMrush is as a tool, you're gonna be using forever. Awesome.
Absolutely, absolutely. I have a lifetime subscription with them, and also Uber suggests, but then I would say SEMrush is one I can't survive.
Yes, we also use SEMrush. Perfect. So India, Canada, now which market taught you more?
I would say that both markets have taught me equally. India is definitely a challenge because when you're on a smaller budget and Google charges you US dollars per click,
Right.
it's very difficult to kind of bring results in lesser number of clicks. But it
Sure.
also makes you think out of the box and put in strategies that you would when you're working with a very limited budget. Canada, the challenge is totally different. Canada, it's like you have $50,000. What channels do you invest it in? And how much money are you going to give to each channel? So having a lesser money is definitely a challenge, but then having too much money is also a challenge. Because then the question is that, do you follow the traditional tactics or do you keep doing experimental stuff? I would say that keep doing experimental stuff. I would say that Canada does teach you more about professionalism, and that is something that I love to learn. But then India will teach you way more about community and teamwork and how to use every last resource.
So your strongest skill as a marketer?
My strongest skill as a marketer is my communication, my presentation abilities. I would say if there is an idea that needs to be conveyed to the client, I'm really good at conveying that. And especially even with dealing with stats, I'm able to convey that. At the same time, I build a lot of personal relationships. I feel that the more the client trusts you or the more personal relationship the client builds with you, in terms of, okay, even questions like, what do you eat? What times do you go out? Do you have a daughter? What is she doing? And then discussing that. If you give at least 30% of the time of your meeting to just the personal relationship, you will notice that your clients will cancel way less on you. And even if something goes down, they'll be way more forgiving than clients that you do not have that personal relationship with.
No. So
So
it
I would say that is my definitely that is my power, and that is the skill that I'm really proud of.
so communications, and having a rapport building. That's what you say, in India.
Absolutely, absolutely. Everything works on relationships.
Yes. One advice for those who are entering, marketing in 2026.
I would say that learn AI.
Prompt engineering.
Yes, it's not just prompt engineering. Learn the whole thing. I'll give you even a hint over here that I've been giving to everybody. So if you go to Coursera, there is a course by IBM called as AI developer and AI engineer. AI developer will probably take 8 to 10 months of your time if you're really dedicated, and then AI engineering will take another, let's say, a year. Let's say you spend these 2 years, but these 2 years will give you a potential where nobody can touch you for the next 25 to 30 years. I would say that it's not that AI is taking jobs. That's absolutely wrong. It's not that AI is taking jobs. It's just that jobs are evolving to a place where you will need to learn AI in order to have the job. So it's becoming a requirement. Now, those who adapt with it will not lose their job, but those who do not adapt with it will surely lose their job. And that's the power of AI, because everything is, even in Google, it's PMax, and with search, it's AI Max, right? So it's AI that's driving all the campaigns. And I predict that in the next 5 years, Google will come up with a time where you won't even need to do anything. Just give it a budget. Just tell it about the targeting locations or any search signals that you want, and it will do everything on its own. It's not a myth. It's where Google is moving towards, which is why a lot of tech companies are firing a lot of workers, because they're in a lot of positions that are redundant now to them with the advent of AIs. If you can go to Coursera in India, it's very cheap. 500 for the first 6 months. If you pay $500 or 4 to 5,000 bucks, you can get IBM certification in AI development. I would say that the world is at your tip. You can develop agents, and any country in the entire world. You can choose France, Germany, Portugal, US. even you can have a own startup in India. You will do extremely well. The entire world is at your fingertips. And the cost is negligible. The knowledge is
It's 12 o'clock.
right out there for you to grab.
Perfect. So thank you so much for the feedback. This will be help my listeners as well, to go ahead and check out the course.
Yeah,
Perfect.
100%.
Thank you, Chanakya, for joining our podcast, where
Thank
you shared your marketing stuff, your ROAS, strategies. Yeah, I'm so super happy. The client, whenever they listen to this podcast, they'll get good information about how to market stuff, difference between US, India, Canada, and they'll have a proper answer to it. Perfect. This is
100%.
Baking Brad. We are signing off. Please share this channel to everybody, to your friends and family. Thank you, Chanakya, for your time. It
Thank
was
you so much.
amazing talking to you. Thank
Always
you.
a pleasure.